Phil, this is Steve. We're from Sony Bmg, which is a major record label. Boo. And we're digital creatives, so we're a bit like an advertising creative team, but we have digital skills. We work basically coming up with campaigns to try and promote our artists online. So what we're going to quickly run through is a competition which we ran across Facebook and Bebo. We're going to tell you guys what we did, what we learned from it, what pitfalls we sort of came across, and then we're going to quickly show you what we're doing next, and then at the end, if you've got any questions, we're happy to sort of answer those. So we're going to have to...
Every time.
Yeah, we're going to have to jump out of PowerPoint quickly here and just play a video because I did this on a Mac, and obviously this is PC, so it doesn't work. So just hit play.
Essentially, the premise of this was that we were asked to come up with something for the latest Michael Jackson campaign, which was for his 50th birthday a few months ago. And in the creative meeting, it was like, what better than make a dance game with Michael Jackson, because that's never going to come around again. So we decided to make a game that was cross social networks, so people could play it across Facebook, Bebo, and we had plans to put it in MySpace, but we ran out of time. And the day that I sat down and looked at Open Social, I thought, I can't do this. Can't do this in like half a day. So we ended up with this, so this is the result.
Okay, so what you're looking at here is basically it's a Flash game which has been socialized in a way. So what we've done first is to construct this Flash game. So we've basically got Michael Jackson impersonator, put him in front of a green screen, filmed him doing all these moves. We've then edited the video, put it into Flash, written a game engine, made it all run. And then at that point, we've taken it and plugged it into Bebo and Facebook. One of the interesting things we've done, which we've got a common high score table, so you can see there's not very...
Facebook users are much better than Bebo users.
Facebook users are not only better, but there are a lot more of them as well. So it was like 80-20 Facebook, Bebo, something like that. So we had a lot more Facebook users. So you can see, who's competing, what countries they're from, things like that. So we gave away prizes, which I think we've got. Let's have a look. Okay, so first of all, the countries people actually came from. We ran the competition in these countries, so UK, USA, Germany, etc.
I think it's safe to point out that if anybody's, if you're going to run a global competition on a networking site, there are legal restrictions in each territory. So eventually we got narrowed down from every country in the world to about 9. Which kind of annoyed quite a lot of Norwegian people, because Norwegian people are really into Michael Jackson, but they couldn't enter the competition.
Yep. So in order to sort of, we ran this over 5 days, and what we did was we gave away prizes. Every hour we gave away a ringtone pack. Every day we gave away a special iPod Nano, and at the end we gave away 5 PS3s.
And this was chosen randomly, so we've just got a script that basically goes through the high scores, picks a winner at random, and then contacts them through Facebook or Bebo and says, congratulations, you're a winner. Come to this third-party site, fill in your details, and Bob's your uncle. You
get your prize, basically. We'll move on to the way the mechanic works when we talk about some of the legal stuff in a minute. In terms of how we did, we basically... This is our typical...
That's not me, by the way.
That's actually Steve in the 80s, in his bedroom. We had 12,000 people. It ran over 5 days. We had 12,000 active users during that period. 67,000 games were played. And then in total, we had 16,000 installs.
So yeah, well, we didn't think that was too bad for launching it and 5 days later having that many people doing it.
The incentives probably helped, to be fair.
And Michael Jackson's got a big pull as well, to be fair. So he's great with the kids.
So, okay, so we're going to talk about a few of the legal. We're going to talk about a few of the legal things here that we ran into. And one of the first things was we got a call from our legal people, and they said, you can't do this, it's madness. We've spoken to the people in the States, and you're setting up an illegal lottery. You're starting an illegal lottery, you can't do that.
What's this about?
This is actually some people in Colombia, and they're gambling on the street, and these, what they bet on is which pot the gerbil is going to go into. And that's a form of street gambling in Colombia. So this is a problem. There are various ways around this. Now, I would obviously recommend that if you're doing a competition like this, get a lawyer and make sure that everything's watertight and they do everything for you. But just a few of the things that we came up against were, in the US, if the prize was over $5,000 worth, we had to buy government bonds, which cost about $12,000 to guarantee the prize. So we didn't want to do that. The other thing you have to do is, basically, if people pay to enter, it's a lottery. Now, my time when I play the game is considered as payment under these laws. Yeah. So basically what we had to do, we had to hide in our terms and conditions a very simple form that allows you to enter straight away without playing the game.
It's kind of like when you buy a Mars bar and you can, win something on it, and there's a no purchase necessary clause. So in your terms and conditions, has to be a way to enter the competition without actually doing what you need to do to enter it, really. So just hide it, have 10 pages of terms in really small font. And,
put it at the bottom.
Stick a sort of a CSS black link in there.
Nobody entered that way. And the other thing you can do is, the other thing you can do is base your competition entirely on skill. If it's a game of skill, different rules apply. You're not running a lottery anymore. It becomes a lot easier.
Which is interesting because originally we thought this is a game of skill because it's for the person who's got the highest score. Whoever can get the highest score is going to win on that day. And we ran into the major flaw of making a game with a high score table.
Is hackers.
With Flash, is hackers.
Yeah.
It's Gary McKinnon, who was extradited to the USA for hacking into the Pentagon.
Yeah, to US Army systems, because he was looking for UFOs, apparently. Yeah, he did,
He's been extradited. Because of
yeah, sorry, Gary.
But he did win the PlayStation 3.
Which they've let him keep in prison, which is quite nice, I thought. So there are no easy solutions to this, because the logic is on the client side, so you're in trouble from day one with hackers, basically. So there are a few things you can do. You've got to introduce an element of chance, because it's not as attractive to a hacker. Yeah,
we spoke to this security guy in the States, who was kind enough to speak to us on the phone, who has worked on security for the FBI, and now actually does security for Flash games, which is a bit of an interesting step.
We don't know what happened that caused the fall from grace.
But his general consensus was anybody who's trying to run games with a high score table, people will try and hack it if there's prizes. So what to do is, the best thing I can suggest to you is make a threshold. So everybody who scores over a certain amount of points per day gets entered into a lottery. People will still try and hack it, but it's just to have the status of being there.
And the other thing we did was we ran a series of basic checks just to check whether their session was valid. So we timed how long it was from when they started the game to when they finished. We looked at what their score was. Was it a legit score in terms of the game? And was it possible to get that score? And we actually managed to weed out all our stupid hackers with that.
Yeah, we had a few.
We had about 5, mostly from Poland, because that was one of the countries that was participating.
You're extraditing them.
They're getting extradited to where? To Britain?
To Britain,
yeah. So we managed to weed them out, we think. With that, we basically just deleted them from the high score table at the last minute, gave the prizes to some real winners, and that worked quite well. So where we're going next is basically, we've discovered that launching something, running it for 5 days on Facebook, and then turning it off is pretty stupid. So what we're going to do from now on is try and develop some propositions that can live on the platforms over time, that we can have regular users of, and that we can develop over time. We also want to target sort of particular people. So metal fans, for example, is one of the groups we're targeting at the moment. So.
The Michael Jackson application, although it was cool, it doesn't have a long time to live, unless we do it for Michael Jackson's 60th birthday, by which point...
is he going to make it?
It's not going to make it, yeah. So,